Eala Bryan Bagunas lead PH team at 2025 SEA Games opening ceremony. The members of the Philippine team were dressed in Eala Bryan modern barong ensemble at the SEA Games opening ceremony. The 33rd Southeast Asian SEA Games is officially underway, with the opening ceremony taking place last December 9th at the Rajamangala National Stadium in Thailand. The Philippine team athletes were led by tennis prodigy Eala and volleyball star Bryan Bagunas, who served as the flag bearers at this year's SEA Games. The Philippine delegates took part in the opening ceremony dressed in their modern barong ensembles by Filipino designer Eala Bryan, called the Laroing Lahi. The outfit Bryan designed for the 2025 SEA Games opening ceremony includes a modern barong top adorned with small embroideries depicting traditional Filipino games like Pico and Tumbang Preso. Meanwhile, Miss Universe 2023 first runner-up Antonia Porcel walked with the Philippine athletes as she held up a sign that read Philippines during the ceremony. Love this content? Subscribe to our newsletter for more captivating stories and lifestyle features. Just enter your email here. The stadium lights shimmered like 1,000 fireflies trapped inside a colossal bowl, swirling with anticipation above the athletes gathered beneath. Long before the fireworks were set to explode across the Bangkok night sky, an electric hum had already spread through the stands, a deep, resonant thrum that pulsed with the heartbeat of every person present. It was the opening ceremony of the 2025 Southeast Asian Games, and the world felt suspended in the moments before history would be written again. Among the sea of flags and prideful cheers, two figures stood at the helm of the Philippine contingent. They were poised, focused, and drenched in the golden glow of the lights. Eala, the tennis prodigy who had become a symbol of new generation Filipino athleticism, and Bryan Bagunas, the volleyball titan whose hammer-like spikes had reverberated across arenas all over Asia. Tonight, they were not just champions. They were the bearers of a nation's hopes. The weight of the flag. The Philippine tricolor unfurled in a slow, mesmerizing wave under Alex's grip. She felt the fabric flutter against her cheek, warm with the breeze that cut through the stadium's roar. It wasn't her first international event, not by far, but this moment felt different. The stadium, filled with tens of thousands of spectators, mirrored her own mixture of excitement, pressure, and fierce pride. She had carried many things before, rackets, medals, expectations, but never a flag like this, never in front of so many, never with the sense that generations were behind her. Beside her, Bryan adjusted his stance, the ceremonial torch cradled in his massive hand. Even from a few feet away, Alex could feel the heat from its flame. He stood tall as the stories people told about him, confident despite the wave of cameras trained on him. "You good?" Bryan murmured, leaning slightly toward her without breaking his forward gaze. Alex nodded. "You," he chuckled. "I faced championship points in front of hostile crowds. This is nothing." But she knew. Even giants got nervous sometimes. Behind them, the Philippine contingent stood in perfect formation. Swimmers with shoulders broad and gleaming, martial artists whose composure never cracked, the basketball players laughing softly in anticipation, weightlifters whose hands were dusted chalk white, track stars shimmering in their aerodynamic suits. The red, blue, yellow, and white of their uniforms glowed like embers. The march was about to begin. A march of stories. A booming voice echoed across the vast arena, announcing the entrance of the athletes from the Philippines. A wave of cheers surged like a rising tide. Phones lit up the stands, every angle, every step captured by someone desperate to be part of the moment. Alex took the first stride. She felt the rhythm of the marching band through her chest, each drumbeat syncing with her footsteps. The Philippine flag caught wind again, billowing dramatically, drawing pockets of applause from the crowd. As they moved, snippets of conversation from behind her drifted like fragments of a much bigger tapestry. Para sa Pilipinas, guys. Picture muna. Sanamakuha na natin young overall championship. Grabe, si Alex ang lit pero ang tapong. Idol si Bryan, sobrang laking binigo ni sa volleyball. All these voices felt like puzzle pieces of the Filipino identity. Hopeful, joyful, hungry for victory, endlessly supportive. Bryan, holding the torch, occasionally lifted it higher to the delight of children in the stands. His grin was infectious, the kind that softened even the most intimidating athlete into someone familiar, someone belonging to the crowd. He looked at Alex. "Remember when you used to be the youngest in delegations like this?" She smirked. "I still am younger than you, Kuya." "That hurts," he joked. But there was a truth between them. This passing of torches, literal and symbolic. Alex was the youthful spark, Bryan the seasoned fire. Before the light, there was darkness. The ceremony flowed with pageantry, but both flag bearers carried silent memories no spectators could see. Alex remembered the early morning practices on foreign soil, the sting of losses that felt heavier than any medal, the loneliness of being young, yet expected to be a symbol, the whispers that asked for too much too soon, the pride of watching the Philippine flag raised because of her. She remembered standing on podiums with tears she hid behind bright smiles. She remembered her parents telling her, "Fight for yourself. The nation will follow." And it had. Bryan remembered the countless flights, the multiple leagues, the adapting to unfamiliar courts, the crushing weight of defeats, the injuries that tested his resolve, the cheers of Filipino migrant workers abroad who hugged him like family, the young players who messaged him, saying they started volleyball because of him. He remembered stepping into courts with the Philippine jersey on his back, knowing his height wasn't just a physical trait, it was a metaphor. He stood tall for those who thought they couldn't. Both athletes, in their own ways, had walked through shadows before becoming lights.